Good Monday morning. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Megan McPherson. You're waking up to heavy rain for your morning commute, and this system is sticking around most of the day. That's why our weather team has declared a Kare 11 weather impact alert, meaning the weather will have an impact on your day. We'll check in with the weather team in just a little bit. New details this morning about the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The suspect, Cole Thomas Allen, is said to be arraigned in federal court today. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
This morning, pressing questions over how a would-be assassin made it into the hotel where President Trump, cabinet members, and top congressional leaders were gathered for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You can hear the gunshots coming from outside the basement ballroom. The president on CBS's 60 Minutes on the moment he was swept out of the room.
I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world.
One floor above, security video shows a gunman sprinting at a security checkpoint, and new video shows him on the ground after officers tackled him. Investigators say the suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen, was armed with a shotgun, a pistol, and multiple knives. One Secret Service officer was shot in the confrontation, but okay, thanks to his bulletproof vest.
We don't believe anybody else was involved, but again, we have a lot of work left to do.
Police searching Allen's California home as he's expected to be charged in federal court today here in Washington. Investigators say he sent a message to his family shortly before storming the perimeter. In a copy a senior White House official provided to NBC News, he describes himself as a friendly federal assassin, saying his targets were administration officials. Authorities say his family alerted police about the writings. Allen also wrote about what he considered lax security at the hotel, saying he checked in the day before the event.
The system worked and that we stopped this suspect.
Now, in the aftermath of these stunning moments when the nation's top leaders were raced to safety as the media reported amid overturned tables, an urgent push for answers. President Trump is arguing the whole security scare demonstrates the need for his planned ballroom with an underground bunker on the White House grounds. The acting attorney general shared a letter urging the National Trust to drop its lawsuit, attempting to block any above-ground construction until Congress gives its okay. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we are live from the White House this morning. Today, King Charles and Queen Camilla will arrive in Washington, D.C. for a 4-day visit. Their trip will include a rare address to a joint meeting of Congress, only the second by a British monarch. The royal couple will also meet privately with President Trump and the First Lady, and they will make stops in New York and Virginia. New this morning, a Shakopee teacher is dead after a crash on Highway 169 in Edina. According to the school district, Ryan Ehler was killed after crashing Sunday afternoon. It happened on 169 just north of 62. The school district says Ehler was a health and PE teacher and just last year became an assistant coach for the boys' sprint team. Ehler was the only person in the car during the deadly crash. How exactly it happened is still under investigation. We have an update this morning on the shooting that killed 22-year-old John Stroud in Edina last week. Today, the man charged with his murder is expected in court for the first time. Charging documents say Stroud and 22-year-old Yvonne Wren got into a physical fight last week. When Wren shot Stroud several times, he's charged with second-degree murder. According to court documents, surveillance video shows Wren getting into a fight with Stroud near Southdale Mall. Investigators say at one point Stroud had his arms around Wren's neck before the two moved out of view behind a pole. Moments later, Stroud is seen falling to the ground while Wren stands over him with his arm extended and an object in his hand. Stroud's mother, Julie, flew in from Texas this weekend, visiting the scene and continuing to ask how a fight turned deadly.
You were scuffling with my son in hands. Why did the gun have to become involved? You took my son's life. For what?
3 other people were also arrested for the shooting but let go Friday, saying there wasn't enough evidence to charge them. Stroud's mother says she plans to be in the courtroom today and attend every hearing moving forward. This morning, air traffic control audio is shedding light on the moments before a small plane crashed outside the Crystal Airport, killing 2 people, including a North Dakota lawmaker.
Runway 32, you're clear for takeoff.
Just 45 seconds after air traffic control cleared the pilot for takeoff, the pilot is heard frantically saying, "Abort, abort." The air traffic controller told the pilot he's clear to land, but then seconds later, the plane crashes in a Brooklyn Park neighborhood.
I felt the house kind of shake, heard the boom.
And all of a sudden a thump and a crash or a crunch, and I go, that ain't right. And I went around the house, looked up, and there was a big orange ball.
North Dakota State Representative Liz Conmee died, along with the pilot, who has not been identified yet. The NTSB is examining the crash site and the plane. 2 men are hospitalized following a fire in Minneapolis's Elliott Park neighborhood. Just after 4 p.m. Sunday, firefighters say they responded to reports of an explosion in this apartment building on the 1500 block of Elliott, which is near HCMC. Fire officials say that victims had been working in a basement laundry room when a natural gas flare-up occurred and ignited a small fire. First responders took the men to HCMC with apparent burn injuries. The exact cause of the fire is under investigation. An ultimatum this morning for 150 remote workers at Target: move to the Twin Cities or move on. The Minneapolis-based retailer says those who accept the move will get relocation assistance, and those who don't will get severance. This impacts 2 teams within merchandising and isn't a company-wide mandate. A Target spokesperson said increased in-person collaboration will help sharpen focus and accelerate work. This morning, we're learning more about a Delta flight from Minneapolis to Orlando that was diverted to Milwaukee. In a statement overnight, Delta tells us a smoky odor was detected on Flight 2309. The airline says the flight crew followed procedures and diverted to Milwaukee, landing around 9:30 last night. The 128 customers on board all deplaned normally. Delta says the cause of the odor is under investigation. The Wolves-Nuggets playoff series is back in Denver tonight after a tough Game 4 at home, giving Minnesota a 3-1 lead. Despite some bad injuries for the Wolves, Saturday night was a dream come true for one young superfan we introduced you to last week. 3-year-old Rhett might know more about the Wolves than some adults do. After our story on him aired, the Wolves took notice, and they reached out to Rhett's parents and invited them all to Saturday's game. He even got to meet some of the players, too. Rhett described it all with 2 words.
Pretty cool.
What did you guys think? Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. And they were so nice. Oh my gosh, the lady on the phone was like, he was so cute on TV. We saw his clip. We'd love to bring him in and host him for a game, but we didn't know it would mean all this.
Cutest fan ever. The Wolves even gave Rhett a couple of gifts, like a Nas Reed jersey and a board signed by the team. And take a look at these pictures. Right now, the trails next to the Gooseberry River in Gooseberry Falls State Park are closed due to flooding. These pictures, shared by Minnesota State Parks and Trails, show just how high the water is. The DNR says it's from snowmelt and recent rain. If you're heading up north, they ask you obey the signs and don't attempt to cross through flooding. You can check the DNR's website for updates. Some sad news out of Texas this morning. At least 2 people are dead and several others hurt after severe storms just northwest of Dallas. Take a look at your screen of the damage left by those storms that rolled through Saturday night. The National Weather Service confirmed at least 2 tornadoes touched down. Authorities say dozens of people were left homeless. Texas officials issued a local disaster declaration and are asking for Governor Greg Abbott to issue a similar declaration as well. In this morning's Communities That Care, we're highlighting Como Park Zoo and their daily fight for conservation. Raya Katene takes us to their special celebration for Earth Day.
Earth Day was April 22nd, but the celebrations continue here in St. Paul, where the Como Park Zoo and Conservatory is giving people a chance to connect with nature and help the environment in their own way.
The zoo's conservation weekend is fittingly called Party for the Planet, with a focus on ecology and pollinators. Through partnerships with organizations like Monarch Joint Venture and the Minnesota Kindness Alliance, zoo staff say they hope to educate people about the importance of pollinators. Things like habitat loss, climate change, and pesticides are contributing to some declining populations, but they hope to empower people to take small steps at home that could help. That includes planting a pollinator garden, repairing garden hoses instead of replacing them, and switching from gas-powered to electric yard tools.
It's maybe not the most grandiose scale of thing, but it's something that you can think about changing just on a small scale in your own home. And just getting that little bit of education removes that barrier.
A big fish!
The zoo expects around 20,000 people to stop by this weekend alone. In St. Paul, Raya Katene, KARE 11 News.
Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.